Good evening, folks. This is Deb. So the voice is much better tonight. Not 100%, but getting there. So for all the people who are concerned and worried about me, thank you. But I did go to get checked out today. I tested negative for everything, okay? Tested negative for COVID, negative for the flu, negative for strep, you name it. Sorry. I just simply have a nasty head cold with a lot of post-nasal drip. And I was told to just keep taking Mucinex and I'll be much better by the end of the weekend. So I'm good. So let's talk, okay? What I want to talk about is the differences between the NBA and the WNBA because people on the thread seem to think there's a difference in the fouls. There isn't, okay? There's no difference in what the fouls are that should be called, okay? Um, so let me give you first a quick synopsis of what the differences are between the two leagues. Okay. So I'll start with the length of the quarters. In the NBA, they're 12 minutes. In the WNBA, they're 10 minutes, which means the total game time for the NBA is 48 minutes. In the WNBA, it's 40 minutes. The 3-point line distance. In the men's game, the NBA, 23 feet 9 inches. In the women's game, 20 feet, 6.25 inches. Now, we're going to stop here for a minute so I can let you have some reality. Caitlin Clark hit 3 of her longest three-pointers that even exceeded the NBA 3-point line distance in 2025. In June, 33 feet. In June, 34 feet. And in May, 36 feet. And I believe that May game was the Brazil game. The ball size. In the NBA, it's 29.5 inches in circumference. And in the WNBA game, it's 28.5 to 29.0 in circumference. The roster size, 15 players. The WNBA, 12 players. Foul disqualification, that means how many fouls an individual player can get in a game before being thrown out of the game. 5 in the NBA, 6 in the WNBA. Timeouts. The NBA, 7 per game. In the WNBA, 2 timeouts in the first half, 3 timeouts in the second half, but no more than 2 timeouts in the final 3 minutes of the fourth quarter. So essentially, timeouts 7 for the NBA, 5 for the WNBA. And that's probably because they play 8 less minutes a game. So that's the big difference, okay? The real difference, and I'm just going to say this, is in the way the officials are managed and valued and handled. Okay, in the NBA, they are employees of the NBA. They have a job. Okay. They are salaried employees. They get benefits. They get continual training. They have much more stringent oversight and much more consistency. Okay. This is what has to happen in the WNBA. Okay, the way the officials are handled, hired, treated, whatever, okay, in the WNBA would never be accepted in the men's game. And that's an actual fact. So considering the fact that the NBA owns a big part of the WNBA, they've made a significant investment in dollars in that league. The impetus to clean up the officiating situation should be as big for them as it is for the WNBA. Okay. It should be a primary concern, and hopefully before this year starts. Okay. Now, I'm going to tell you something, because there's a lot of chatter out there, because tomorrow is the end of the collective bargaining agreement in the WNBA, and they're not going to have an agreement reached. They're going to extend that. Okay. They will extend that. They are not just going to declare a lockout tomorrow. That's not going to happen. There's a lot of chatter out there. There's headlines out there about people are concerned with Caitlin Clark's future, blah, 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 blah. You know what? Every player in the WNBA is concerned, not just Caitlin Clark, okay? This is everybody's bread and butter, and everybody loves the game that plays that game. So there is no impetus or value for either side to be wanting a lockout. They will come to some kind of an agreement in enough time to make sure that the season starts. I truly do believe that. We've seen this before, and something will get worked out. So now, let me just say that I talked about two of her longest shots, and I got a nifty 7-minute and some odd second video of the game where the New York Liberty came into Gainbridge Fieldhouse with a 9-0 record. And Caitlin Clark had just come back from being about 20 days out with injury, and literally blew the doors off the building. But I'm going to give you some fair warning. There's a couple of ads at the end for SeatGeeks. Just ignore them, okay? There's also too much chatter and too much focus on a few blown layups by Caitlin Clark's teammates. You know what? Everybody in the league has blown layups before. You know, should they be blown when they're that close to the basket? Probably not. But these people are human, okay? They're not perfect. Nobody's perfect. And certainly nobody who doesn't play the game should be sitting at home and ridiculing anyone. So there's a little bit of that going on, most likely because had they hit those shots, Caitlin Clark would have had a 7 3-point night and a triple-double. Okay, but it didn't work out that way. She ended the night with 32 points, 9 assists, and 8 rebounds. That's a pretty good night worth of business. The Indiana Fever handed the Liberty the first loss of the season, and Caitlin Clark came back from injury in great style. So let's take a look at some of this video. And I can't guarantee you that I won't show you the whole thing, because overall I selected this because it's a great synopsis of the game. And despite the critiquing of her teammates and the advertising at the end, and it's not really advertised, it just makes mention of it. It shows you just exactly who Caitlin Clark is. So hang on.
Target, revenge against the undefeated New York Liberty, and just like that, it looked like she never left.
Clark, another long three. She's back!
This might have been Caitlin Clark's best performance yet. NBA range threes, broken records, and a level of brilliance the WNBA's never seen before. And the first time she brought it up the court, she wasted no time, dropping a perfect dime that set the tone for the night.
For her last two. Nicely done to get it inside to Mitchell. Those two have such a great connection, especially when Kelsey...
The connection was instant, and that same chemistry showed up again when she found Aaliyah Boston in the post.
Great rebounding team this season.
Same in transition. Boston was already on the move. She knew exactly what was coming.
This is one thing you get with Clark is great pace and great passes. Found Boston perfectly.
A dime, straight out of a quarterback's playbook. That made 3 assists with 3 minutes left in the first. But Caitlin hadn't even scored yet, until she changed that, in style.
Clark last played for Indiana against New York, and now she takes it in off glass and has a chance for a three-point play.
She put a top-tier defender on skates and finished with the N1. Now that's CC magic. And well, with 1 minute and 30 seconds left in the first, that magic would do something that would change not only this game, but WNBA history.
Cunningham is down behind the play, but they've got
A deep pull-up, and it didn't stop there. It sparked something unstoppable.
two players with incredible
The commentator was speechless after that one, back to back, and this one even deeper than the last. But wait, it didn't even stop it there.
Clark, another long three. She's back!
3 threes in under a minute to close the quarter, and 2 of them were from over 30 feet. That's at least 6 feet beyond the NBA line. That's not just deep, that's Curry range. And just so you don't forget, she had been out for 20 days before this. No warm-up, no easing in, just straight fire. And with the Liberty daring to leave her open to start the second, it was a no-brainer. The streak wasn't done yet.
Start second in a row, and Clark stays red hot.
Even her practice shot after the foul didn't touch the rim. That's how locked in she was, sitting on 4 threes and 17 points while the rest of her team hadn't made a single field goal. Luckily, she was more than ready to carry the load.
Traffic. And then steps back with the three over Breanna Stewart.
This isn't a video game. Caitlin Clark just knocked down 5 straight threes in the first half, including 3 bombs in just 38 seconds. And with Lexi Hull catching fire too,
Hull left open momentarily, and she nailed it.
the Fever were suddenly chasing a new franchise record for made threes. But Liberty's number 5, Natasha Cloud, wasn't having it. She pulled out the dirty playbook to knock Caitlin out of her rhythm.
And now the whistle is...
Unfortunately, this kind of physical targeting has become a theme in the WNBA, but luckily, not even that could stop Caitlin tonight.
Oh, and Sharon. Clark trying to answer, and indeed she does.
And with all that shooting, you might forget, she's an elite passer too.
Floor. Oh, behind the back action. Hull. From the corner.
But just when you thought the pass was the highlight, she outdid herself again, drilling yet another 3 to close the half.
Caitlin Clark. Feeling the three.
This was hands down the best first half of her young WNBA career, single-handedly keeping the Fever in the game, shooting a ridiculous 66% from deep, and making sure the Liberty felt every bit of her presence. But there was one problem the Fever just couldn't shake: missing open layups.
Howard gets it to Clark, another perfect pass to Hull!
Caitlin could have had a double-double by halftime, but her teammates kept fumbling the easiest shots. Luckily, Caitlin dug into her bag and started showing out on defense too.
Taken away by Clark, it's off of Stewart, so Indiana basketball.
Luckily, halfway through the third, the engine finally started to rev for the Fever. Her teammates began finding rhythm.
For some options, Hull spots up for 3 and hits it.
First, Hull knocked down a clutch 3. Then Aaliyah Boston went to work in the paint.
Until last night, this run. Oh, that's a nice little fake by Boston.
And now, with defenders worried about the pass, Caitlin Clark flipped the script, attacking the basket with purpose.
Caitlin challenged Sabally and won it.
She was in a total flow state, calm, locked in, untouchable, and even with a defender draped all over her, she rose up and drilled her 7th 3 of the night.
Clark nails it. A 17-0 run.
This is why you buy a ticket, nights like this. And if you want to see Caitlin Clark live, grab your seats with code THEWEMBYSHOW on SeatGeek for a nice little discount. Don't miss it. She was already sitting on a big 30, and there was still a quarter and a half to play. But guess who was right back on her tail?
Cloud and Clark have had some nice conference.
Caitlin got rewarded with a trip to the line, and Cloud, she got a seat on the bench. But even with the game settling down, Lexi Hull was out here going for the hat trick.
Kind of like a hockey line change. Off the inbounds.
Her third missed layup of the night, and when I tell you how many assists Caitlin ended the night with, you'll understand just how sour this really was. Luckily, Lexi Hull redeemed herself midway through the fourth.
Clark. And then a perfect bounce pass with Hull working the baseline.
Caitlin made it look effortless, and when she started dribbling literal circles around the defense, you just knew this game was over.
Killing some more clock. And maybe the dagger. Kelsey Mitchell lighting it up here in the fourth quarter. And Indiana.
In the final 2 minutes, the Fever held their ground and secured the W. Caitlin Clark wrapped up the night with a monster stat line: 32 points, 9 assists, and 8 rebounds. And yeah, if just 2 more boards dropped her way and 1 teammate finished a wide open layup, we'd be talking about a 32-point triple-double. But maybe that much history in one night was already enough. She hit 7 threes, helped set a new franchise record, and reminded everyone exactly who she is. If you want to see her do it live, use code The Wemby Show on SeatGeek for a nice little discount. Hit that.
So there we have it. That is who Caitlin Clark is, okay? And look, let's give Caitlin Clark credit because she wisely never gives up on her teammates, okay? She's missed bunnies too. I've seen it. Okay, it happens in a game, especially when you're moving faster than your brain is moving. Okay, so it happens. So that's what I got tonight. Again, we all know it has to happen. The WNBA has to make an investment in the officials that they hire, and that comes at a cost. And this is what people don't understand. We are building here, the franchise, the league is building a business from the ground up. There are inevitably things that don't get addressed right away. Whether for good or for bad, it's the same with starting any business, okay? So somebody said to me on the thread, doesn't the WNBA see this, that this is what should be happening? Well, yeah, I'm sure they do. But like any other entity that you deal with, the people need to be the voice. Okay? That's the way this has been since time immemorial. Okay? The people who are the paying customers have to be the voice. They have to push the WNBA, okay, to do this, and the NBA, because the NBA has a significant amount of money invested in the WNBA. Why? Because they know it's a winning proposition at the end of the day. So that's what I'm saying. What I will do is post an email that you can use to contact the WNBA about making an investment. Okay, I will post a link to the petition again. All right, all of this will be, if you go to the front page of the video channel, go look at the top and find the word post. I will post them there by the end of the weekend, okay? And you folks need to be heard. The people's voice, that's what we're here for, folks. Whether it's government or sports or anything else. The people who hold the purse strings and who rely the most on the paying customers need to hear from the paying customers, not just from the coaches, not just from the players, but the people who make the engine run. I will see you again tomorrow. You guys have a great night. Hope you enjoyed the video.